Hey, shalom, shalom. Hi, Rob Tawab La Atam Za'ach Yakam Yawam Madar Chagador Charlotte, which is good evening. This is your brother Yawam from the GMS camp in Charlotte. Nachamatam Kayah Malakata Shamayim Kwara, repent ye for the kingdom of heaven is at hand. Call Layim La Banawa Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai Bahasham Rocha HaKodash. Wamashana La Zakonim Nawa Malakim Shoro Chagador, which is all praises to our Father Yahweh, which means he exists. Bahasham in the name Yahweh Shai delivers, and double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. So today is, the day of, one of Esau's greatest folly days, which is the Super Bowl. And I pretty much just want to go into, how this is a time period to where Esau is, leaning on, the left hand. And essentially, just going into, that Super Bowl, the halftime show, they had, Kendrick Lamar. And he pretty much was, signifying, he had the people dressed in, red, white, and blue. All right. And then they had, at different moments, they would flash the screen to Samuel Jackson. And he had a Uncle Sam. He had an Uncle Sam hat on, you see. And that pushes forth the spirit of what they want America to go back to. They want to push that so-called American pride, you see, because that's being quelled in the spirit, you see. But then also they want Jake's support. That's why they got Samuel L. Jackson to come out and ultimately play that role. I want to get this word right here as well, but I'm gonna go into this right here because super, when we go into the word for super, it means to go beyond or above, you see. But when we go into the word for bowl, all right, it says round, low vessel to hold liquids or liquid food, cup, bowl, a round vessel. It says formerly also a large drinking cup, hence figurative use as emblem of festivity or drunkenness. So beyond drunkenness. So that essentially they were having a lot of enchantments in that halftime show. All right, and again, they had the background dancers in red, white, and blue. Kendrick Lamar had on red, white, and blue, you see. But then also they had Samuel L. Jackson in that Uncle Sam outfit. But, his position in that was supposed to be a Sambo. I'm curious if they actually got it in here. But it says right here, it says a stereotypical name for a so-called black person, now only derogatory, because pretty much Sambo that pretty much went into, Jake's that essentially upheld, Esau's infrastructure. Right here it says it fell from polite usage about the time of World War II, eventually taking with it after the 1970s the once enormously popular children's book, The Story of Little Black Sambo, which is about an East Indian child and where it's widespread Sambo's chain of pancake specialty, which it pretty much just goes into, somebody that what they would call a it's another term. I can't remember what it's called. It's called I can't remember. But Sambo pretty much goes into, those that essentially uphold Esau's society, and that's essentially what they want Jake's involvement, you see, because Esau understands that he's losing the information war, you see. But then also Jake don't want nothing to do with, that old Edomite spirit. They want to bring that back, you see. But that witchcraft, what they used to use, the deception is no longer working on Jake. So that's their way of trying to reel Jake back in, because right now that spirit is dying. Right here, I'm gonna get this real fast. Yashaya, this is Isaiah chapter 19 and verse 1. It says, the burden of Egypt, behold, the Lord rideth upon a swift cloud and shall come into Egypt, you see, because the Lord Yahweh Shai is going to be on that farther ship. And it says, the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence, in the presence of the Lord. Right now the Lord essentially is quarreling or destroying that spirit of those idols, you see, because his name is going throughout the earth, pursuant to Habakkuk the 2nd chapter and the 14th verse. And it says, and the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence, and the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst of it. You see, ultimately going into how what once used to drive America is no longer like it used to be. That American dream is dead. No one wants to join the military. No one wants to go to college. It's not even affordable. So that American dream, that the spirit of this place is dead. The heart is essentially what I'm gonna go to this word for heart. It's gonna go into lob, and it says right here, Lob. So I'm gonna go back. Labab. It says inner man, the will. All right, the heart, the soul, the inner part. Pretty much what drives this place, the determination, the will. The military is what drove this place. Is America used to be I mean, it still has somewhat of a power, you see, but it doesn't have the same type of influence, the same type of power that it once used to have. So the military was one area. The entertainment, you see, that Super Bowl halftime show was essentially a way of trying to pull Jake back into, grip, so to speak, in Esau's shoes, you see. But that's gonna come to no avail, you see, because ultimately in the end, this man's gonna, his hegemony and his his different places where he's ruling is going to be destroyed. It says, and I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight everyone against his brother, and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. You see, because that's going into infighting. All right, because right now, what do you have in America, Babylon the Great? All right, you have Trump coming in with these different laws and legislations. You see, but then also you have those that support him. You see, but then also amongst Jake, you got Jakes that support that, and then you got Jakes that don't support that. So it's going to be a lot of infighting in these days to come. It says, verse 3, and the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the counsel thereof, and they shall seek. I'm going to run it back from the top. It says, and the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof. The spirit of Egypt, going back to the latter of verse 1. All right, the heart. All right, the inner workings, the pretty much going into the spirit of this place right here. Rocha, it says the breath, all right. Pretty much it says spirit, animation, vivacity, which would give this place life. All right. It says spirit, disposition. All right. It says as a seat of organ or mental acts. So pretty much going into the vivacity, the life of this place ultimately is failing. All right. The life of this place is ultimately failing. That's more specifically of what it will be going into. The life of this place is failing. The lifestyle, the America, pretty much what made America is failing. That hot, that flashy, that high flashy lifestyle is failing. This place used to be a place where you can get a lot of food and stuff like that. The food is no longer real. All right, the economy is shot. All right, the money isn't worth a damn. Pretty much everything is at an all-time low. So the life of this place is failing, you see. But I want to touch back on verse 1, because it said the heart of Egypt shall fail in the midst of it. That's pretty much what drives this place. That the inner workings. All right, and some of those inner workings go into the economy as well. So those two pretty much correspond with each other. And it says, and I will destroy the counsel thereof, and they shall seek to the idols and to the charmers and to them that have familiar spirits and to the wizards. And that's pretty much the point I wanted to get, you see, because that halftime show was nothing more than, a giant, ritual, you see. But again, it's going to come to no avail. I'm going to get a couple and then that'll be it. But just to prove that point, let's get Tahoyam. Psalms chapter 144 and verse 11, it says, rid me and deliver me from the hand of strange children whose mouth speaketh vanity, and their right hand is a right hand of falsehood. They pretty much rely on that deception, that witchcraft, Now let's get this. Isaiah chapter 47, we'll get verse 12, and it says, therefore stand now with thine enchantments and with the multitude of thy sorceries, wherein thou hast labored from thy youth, you see, because ultimately America was built on deception, on witchcraft, you see. They pretty much got this place by means of deception through rape, robbery, and murder, you see, and also the different left-hand means, that they pretty much obtained America, Babylon the Great with. That's why it says, wherein thou hast labored from thy youth, from the inception of this place. So it says, if so be, thou shalt be able to profit, if so be, thou mayest prevail. It says, thou art weary in the multitude of thy sorceries. Let now the astrologers, the stargazers, the monthly prognosticators stand up and save thee from these things that shall come upon thee. You see? So, that's essentially what they're doing, you see. But verse 14 says, behold, they shall be as stubble. The fire shall burn them. They shall not deliver themselves from the power of the flame. There shall not be a coal to warm at, nor fire to sit before it. You see? So, going into verse 12, pretty much Esau is abiding in those different enchantments, those different sorceries that he's been using since the inception of America, Babylon the Great. And ultimately how Esau moves anyway, he moves off of using those different left hand means. That's his strong suit. That pretty much he used those. That's his bread and butter. He used that with the sword. So it says, if so be thou shalt be able to profit, if so be thou mayest prevail. So which that's like that's a rhetorical statement, because they ultimately not going to prevail, you know. Verse 13 it says thou art weary with the multitude of thy counsels. They're tired. They have witches on standby 24 hours out of the day, 7 days a week. They pretty much trying to commune with these different spirits, you see, but they not answering like they once used to. you know those different spirits that Esau is communing with. They double agents. They work for the Lord. So this is the time where Esau is essentially going to go down. You see, let's get that real fast. Za'ayawab, this is Job chapter 14 and verse 5. It says, seeing his days are determined, the number of his months are with thee, thou hast appointed his bounds that he cannot pass. And that's ultimately what he's trying to prolong, you see. But Esau isn't going to go a day past what the Lord has essentially set up in the spirit. And that's what we're seeing. We're seeing this man's hegemony come to an end. You see, so I just want to go into that, because ultimately, he's pretty much putting up different enchantments, and it's not going to be beneficial to his society. You see, so Adawan to Zaza Banaya Pablo as well. That was a beautiful edification through the spirit. Adawan to Za Atham Yashlala Tawab. Lord's will. You all have a good night. Wa shalom lakam, which is peace unto you all. Shalom, shalom.